Good morning. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning. I'm disappointed that I don't get to be with you in person like we normally are on Sunday mornings, but I'm so glad that I can shoot a video so that I can share with you guys this morning. Last Sunday morning, we said that we were going to review the fruits of the Spirit that we have been talking about, or the fruit of the Spirit. Now, a little question for you as you watch this video. How many did we learn about? Was it 3? Was it 5? Was it 7? Or was it 9? The answer is 9. There was love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and the last one, self-control.
The fruit of the Spirit's not a coconut. Fruit of the Spirit's not a coconut. If you want to be a coconut, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a banana. The fruit of the Spirit's not a banana. You wanna be a banana? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a watermelon. The fruit of the Spirit's not a watermelon. You wanna be a watermelon? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a lemon. The fruit of the Spirit's not a lemon. You wanna be a lemon? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a cherry. The fruit of the Spirit's not a cherry. If you wanna be a cherry, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Okay! Everybody knows that grapes come in bunches, so everybody get in big bunches. The fruit of the Spirit's not a grape. The fruit of the Spirit's not a grape. You wanna be a grape? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. The fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control.
The first fruit that we talked about was love. Our power verse was found in 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. It said, "Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." Our story that week was a story about somebody that was probably not a well-liked person. It was about Zacchaeus. He was a tax collector, and tax collectors then normally took more money than what they were supposed to take. They would give part that they were supposed to give to the Roman government, and then they would probably keep some for themselves. So they were known to be very dishonest. Well, Zacchaeus had an encounter with Jesus. Jesus found or saw Zacchaeus up in a tree, and he called him down, and he told him he was going to his house that day. But a lot of people didn't like that because they knew how Zacchaeus was, that he was dishonest. But you know what? God saw something in Zacchaeus that others didn't see. He shared the love of his Father with Zacchaeus, and Zacchaeus was a changed man after he met Jesus. And we talked about that showing God's love to others is not a choice. It's something that we have to do. And it's a way that others will know that we belong to God. So love is an important fruit of the Spirit. If you don't show love to others, then you're definitely not doing God's will. The second fruit that we talked about was joy. Our power verse was found in Psalm chapter 68, verse 3. It said, "But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy." That week, our message was found over in the Old Testament. Actually, over in the Old Testament in 2 Samuel chapter 6. Do you guys remember that we talked about King David and about how they were bringing the ark back home, and that King David got to dancing and praising God, and he was just wearing his linen robe. He wasn't wearing his kingly garments, and his wife got very upset with him about that. But King David didn't care. He was so focused on praising God. He was joyful. He wasn't focused on what other people were thinking about him. So King David looked at his wife and said, "I was dancing before the Lord. I am willing to act like a fool in order to show my joy in the Lord. Yes, I am willing to look even more foolish than this." You see, King David understood exactly what we learned, that joy of the Lord is an important part of being a Christian. And that's why the Bible teaches that it is a fruit of the Spirit. It doesn't matter what is going on in our life or what others think. It only matters that we are obeying God and displaying the fruit of joy in our lives. And we can have joy even on bad days. We can have joy even on happy days. And we have joy because of God, because of what He has done for us. The third fruit that we learned about was peace. Our power verse was found over in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." That week, we talked about how Mary and Martha were good friends of Jesus. They were followers of Jesus, and they both knew Him and respected Him very much. And when Jesus came to visit Mary and Martha, they had very different reactions. Martha focused on the stuff and the things that needed to be done in order to have Jesus in their house that day. But Mary focused on spending as much time with Jesus as possible and listening to Him and sitting at His feet and talking to Him. Well, Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 says that Jesus will give you rest if you come to Him when you are in need of peace. And that was what we talked about, that time in God's presence will help us produce the fruit of peace in our lives. The more time that we spend reading God's Word, the more time that we spend praying, the more time that we spend worshiping Him, we will have the fruit of peace in our lives. The fourth fruit that we talked about was the fruit of patience. This is probably one of the hardest ones for most people, because we're always in such a hurry. We need to get there. We need to get this done. Or things just are not happening. It's not happening as quick as we like for it to be. And this week, many of you guys, you've been stuck at home. You've not been able to go to school. You can't go and see your friends. You can't have a play date. You can't go to the park where you would like to go. You can't go to the store that maybe you had been looking forward to going to. You've had to stay at home, and you've had to learn some patience. Our power verse said, "Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous." Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. And that was found over in Psalm chapter 27, verse 14. See, people, we're just not very patient. We want everything in a hurry. We want overnight delivery. We want to drive through the drive-thru real quick to be able to get our food because we're in a hurry. But as Christians, we're supposed to demonstrate patience. It's a very important fruit of the Spirit. So it's something that we need to be working on. We need to be patient with others, but most of all, we need to be patient with God. See, when we're impatient with God, it shows that we really don't trust Him and His ability to take care of us. And see, God, His timing may not be our timing. And we talked about somebody in the Bible, in the Old Testament, Joseph, that Joseph had to wait a long time for some things to happen. But in the end, it all worked out for Joseph. He had to learn to be patient and to wait on God, but it was an amazing thing that what happened to him and to his family as a result of that. So patience is a very important fruit of the Spirit. Okay, guys, we covered the first 4 fruits today that we talked about out of the 9 that we learned. So if you've watched this today, ask your parents, can they take a video of you? And I want you to send me a video, and I want you to tell me the fruits that we talked about today. I would love to see your faces. I would love to know that you remembered what we've talked about. So have them take a video, send it to me so I can know that you've watched this video. And hopefully before long, we'll be back together in person. I love you all bunches.
Hey guys, we miss you. We hope to see you soon.